Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Palmisano here, and back on my subscriber reacts request page over on GuitarGate, and I see this title, Best Female Rock Star Out There Right Now. This is Hannah Wicklund and the Steppin Stones. And I go down again. I see someone else has it up here. Makes me want to click on it. Let's do it. This is for Derek Blake. Well, who was the other person, too? The other person was Jared Grenier. Both Jared and Derek, thank you so much for being subscribers and taking my lessons and courses. And he says, Mike, please check this girl out. Just saw her open up for the Marcus King Band, and I was blown away. I think she gives Lizzie Hale a run for her money for badassery. Okay. I mean, if you're opening for Marcus King, you're on it. Let's go. Ice cold, ladies and gentlemen. Ice cold. Okay, if you're new to this channel, this is sort of like a guitar lesson. Like if you were to bring something to your teacher, I show you kind of what I'm seeing and what you should think about. Okay, this is a power trio a la Hendrix, clearly, right? SRV Hendrix kind of vibe. Super duper dynamic, okay? They are coming up, going down together as a unit. Love seeing that. I think people underestimate how much it takes to be in a power trio. It's a trio in general, right? How dynamic you have to be and still keep so much air moving and have so much sound going on. The key is dynamics and touch and feel. Okay, harmony-wise, right? You got this. It's in E, you know. E, so that's G, you're grabbing your flat 3. And then she starts, it sounds like she's got like an octavia or some type of octave pedal. So you're getting that minor third pushing kind of towards the major third, but resolving on E. And then she kicks on the wah solo, the wah pedal, right? Who doesn't like soloing in this type of groove with a wah, just with a screaming amp? That's why we play guitar. Keep going. Little cool thing she's doing in here. So it's mostly E minor pentatonic. That's your main bread and butter of what's happening in here. But with the dynamics, she's doing a lot of picking, like pick scrapes and different things back towards the bridge over different pickups to get a different timbre. Harmonically, Right here, she's doing this. This is your 4th and your major 6th. Major 6th, ladies and gentlemen. For all you guys out there that haven't played a lot of blues, or you just want to, or you're like, ooh, what is that sound? Why is it a little different? Even though you might be E minor pentatonic all day. Flat 5 a little bit. Right? It's not uncommon. In fact, it's pretty common to go that instead of just bending the 4, grab that 2nd string with it. Now that's going to give you that major 6th with it. Why is that important? That implies a major 4 chord, right? For all you theory people out there and all you modal players, you're implying Dorian. Just know that this note, this major 6th, that is the 3rd of your 4 chord of A major. Remember, your 6 is your 4 forever. Keep going. I want to hear her sing one. That Rick sounds killer. Oh yeah. Really pushing the rhythm around, right? Jumping through the syncopations and really favoring this, that minor 3rd and flat 7. So E minor 7-ish, you know, if you will. Same thing up here. Definitely sticking with the flat 3 and flat 7 for most of the rhythm parts. On a complete side note, they're obviously using Audio Tree stuff. You can see the Audio Tree head on the kick. They got these loud amps. It's a power trio. What a shame they're in there having to use headphones. Love that Tom Anderson too. That's a cool thing that's happening here. One, I want to give a shout out to the bass player. It takes a lot of discipline to be able to hold down a foundation firm enough to allow the lead guitar player in a trio like this to just go wherever they want to go, right? So props to you. Now, what she's doing here is this very cool, like, you got root of G, right? 5th of G, and then root of G again, right? This is like a little power chord with a 4th string root. But what this is G major. Well, it's just a G power chord, right? But you put an E in it, and now you get, again, E minor 7. Remember, when it comes to 7th chords, there's 2 triads. There's the one that makes up the 1-3-5, bam, and there's the one that makes up the 3-5-7, bam, right? So in E minor 7, E is 1, right? E minor is 1-3-5, but if you look at the 3-5-7, 3 being G, and then GBD, that makes up G major. So it's really a G major chord over E. The inverse is true on a major 7th chord. It's a minor triad on the top and a major triad on the bottom. Now, hope I didn't misspeak that. I think I did. Either way, doesn't matter. Just with minor, it's major on top. With major, it's minor on top. Okay? Point is, that little G power chord, while the bass player's crushing the E gives you that E minor 7 kind of thing, right? And then she just kind of takes it down chromatically and eventually gets to E to get that big E power chord. And then starts moving it all around the neck, right? Just in key, thinking, leading it, I would think, leading with the pinky, right? The pinky and first finger, because those are going to be your tonics there everywhere you go. Thinking 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5 in terms of E. Let's keep going. You gotta sing one. Come on. All right. Love the vibe. I love how her body is already feeling the new groove before everybody else comes in. Now, for the first time here, she's playing E major. This is a big E major sound, right? So you got a G sharp instead of a G. Now, and now the bass player is just staying on E. You don't see him going to that G. Now, I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I would imagine he stays far away from it to let this major tonality bleed through, and your ear doesn't really pick up on it. Now, okay, I'm just guessing here. So it sounds like the melody is still coming from G major, so I'm still G, A, and B. So focusing on the fifth of E here. Let's see. I'm just throwing it in the wind here. Yeah. Yeah, it's clearly not keeping that bluesiness. So the melody, and again, you can bend, it's a voice, that G kind of into G sharp, but you're clearly focusing on the B. So this is a melody focusing on the fifth here. And remember, why does this work? Why can we play G? Why can we sing an inflection on G when the chord tone is clearly G sharp? Because the higher third always wins. The third creates chord function more than any other note, which means you can play below it and get that bluesier sound. So you can play a flat 3 if the chord has a regular 3, and you get that bluesy sound. The opposite does not work. If you have an E minor sound, okay, and you play a major third over top of that, immediately you're going to get the sound of that major third. The major third's going to win. The higher third always wins. So the bluesiness in this scenario comes from your voice, the melody coming right below it. So even though we have this, right, is our groove, we can over. This is how it works. Here we go. Yeah, and now she mimics it, the exact same thing with the guitar line. So you can see E major, and then that's mimicking that melody, clearly pulling on the G towards the G sharp, but then laying on the tonic to let this chord ring out. So it's like a call and response between the voice and that little riff on the low string, hitting the G, while the tonality is still G sharp. People forget how heavy major chords can be. When I comp stuff like this all the time, it's not uncommon, even if it's in E minor, no matter what the rest of the band's doing, it's not uncommon for me to crush a little major third in there, especially if it goes down to D or something, just to see if anybody's paying attention. I'm telling you, those major thirds can kill you. Love that break right there. All right, so now we start borrowing from another key, but this is classic rock and roll. E to G, you get a D, A. Now, where do all those chords reside? What land do they live in? Well, if you have a G major and you have an A major, remember, you only have two places where you have a major chord a whole step apart, 4 and 5. And then, so that makes me think G's 4, A's 5, which means we should be in the key of D. And do we have a D major? You bet we do. You bet we do. So this is a super common thing to happen in rock and roll, which is like you have an E minor kind of vibe, and you're there for a while, and then you just borrow from D. And it's mostly because you get the open strings in open position. It's the AC/DC sound. It's the textbook. It's the sound of rock and roll. Big, huge, distorted amps, leaning heavy towards the power chords, avoiding a lot of thirds when you have a lot of distortion on to not get that bleed, and just going for a huge sound. And obviously in single guitar setups, when it's distorted, huge amps, especially in a power trio scenario, bigger is better. Bleed generally doesn't work. That's why we generally stay away from thirds instead of, in this situation, play this big D major. You just play right G like that, A, instead of right. Something different happens with E though. It's in the middle and it kind of gets soaked up. You can have a ton of gain and still. If there's something about the open strings, and if you just release pressure a little bit, right, you can kind of flat that third and make it not like beat, Break on the snare. Listen to his snare work. This is killer right here. Something happened here. Maybe I missed it the first time through, but it's clearly it's F sharp. I thought they were just sliding into the G, but I think you're getting this like D over F sharp thing. So putting the F sharp in the bass, which would be the third, and then right over to D before you get the A. Let me see what the guitar does there. Oh, this is killer. All right, so we're just doing octaves. So this is E. And then F sharp, G, C, to B. No, come on. That is so killer. E, F sharp, G, C, A. That is a killer groove. So you're getting this flat 6 in here, which stands out. Totally stands out, right? So if I'm taking a lead in here, I would be shooting for, even though you started to do this before, playing that C sharp. Again, 6 is your 4. C sharp is the third of your 4 chord A. You got a C in here. So anytime I would approach that, or maybe the whole time if I were to burn, I'd be shooting for C all day. People who come up with progressions and riffs choose things on purpose. So as an improviser or a melody maker, I would implore you to say something about those choices because they picked them on purpose. Doesn't mean you gotta spell them out like note for note and do it every time. Like, right, you can do whatever you want to do, but it exists for a reason. Let's see what she does. I love that little run. Now, come on, Michael. C sharp to D, right, to a little piece of E minor, E and G. Yeah. Okay, so she's clearly just grabbing that F sharp to get all that working. All right, aside from the theory and melody and all that, pretty straightforward rock and roll kind of vibe. It's geared towards the amplifiers. It's geared towards making a lot of sound. It's geared towards the electricity. The electricity. That's why we play this music. I feel like rock and roll, like straight ahead, unapologetic rock and roll, has kind of gone by the wayside in the recent decade, right? I mean, when's the last time you saw a real band out there just saying, "Hey, this is a rock show," right? We're playing our instruments. We're screaming at you, right? These are big power chords. These are real amplifiers. Hello. It's been a minute, but you know what? Everything comes back around. Right? Everything just keeps coming back around, and it needs to come back. We need to bring it back. Hannah and the Stepping Stones, I love it. I love that you're just out there unapologetically just saying, come at me. This is some real rock and roll. I love the vibe. I love the band. I love seeing a power trio with a powerful female vocalist up front. I love that. I love seeing the real amplifiers. I love it all. That's it. So, to Derek and wait for it, Jared, Thank you so much for recommending this. Thanks for being subscribers and taking the lessons and courses. You make this all possible by supporting the channel by doing so. And thank you for posting to this page. This is my little thank you to everybody that takes the next step, that wants to take my lessons and courses. You get to pick what comes next. So if that intrigues you, it's the first link in the description. I'd love to have you. More than anything else, it's just a community of people trying to keep this thing in their hands, trying to get a little bit better every day and find some new music to keep us motivated and inspired to do so. That's it. See you soon. Cheers.